we pass the Alaska Highway, we will see a lot of road repairs. The repair of this road is to improve the transportation corridor from America through Canada and then on to Alaska. We can see many unpaved roads which are then made good for later roads on asphalt. This area is one of the coldest areas in North America, so many roads are damaged by the cold. Temperatures in this area can reach -50 degrees Celsius. This time to Watson Lake. To get to Watson we take the route via the Alaska Highway. The scenery around this is very beautiful and mesmerizing. We can breathe clean air and away from the crowds like in big cities. I will tell about Alaska Highway. The Alaska Highway, French, Route de l'Alaska, also known as the Alaskan Highway, Alaska-Canadian Highway, or Alcan Highway, was constructed during World War II to connect the contiguous United States to Alaska across Canada. It begins at the junction with several Canadian highways in Dawson Creek, British Columbia, and runs to Delta Junction, Alaska, via Whitehorse, Yukon. When it was completed in 1942, it was about 2,700 kilometers, 1,700 miles, long. But in 2012, it was only 2,232 kilometers, 1,387 miles. This is due to the continuing reconstruction of the highway, which has rerouted and straightened many sections. The highway opened to the public in 1948. Once legendary for being a rough, challenging drive, the highway is now paved over its entire length. Its component highways are British Columbia Highway 97, Yukon Highway 1 and Alaska Route 2. An informal system of historic mileposts developed over the years to denote major stopping points. Delta Junction, at the end of the highway, makes reference to its location at historic milepost 1422. It is at this point that the Alaska Highway meets the Richardson Highway, which continues 155 kilometers, 96 miles, to the city of Fairbanks. This is often regarded, though unofficially, as the northwestern portion of the Alaska Highway, with Fairbanks at historic milepost 1520. 1 mileposts on this stretch of highway are measured from the port of Valdez on Prince William Sound, rather than the Alaska Highway. The Alaska Highway is popularly, but unofficially, considered part of the Pan-American Highway, which extends south, despite its discontinuity in Panama to Argentina. The Canadian section of the road was delineated with mileposts, based on the road as it was in 1947, but over the years, reconstruction steadily shortened the distance between some of those mileposts. In 1978, metric signs were placed on the highway, and the mileposts were replaced with kilometer posts at the approximate locations of a historic mileage of equal value. For example, KM Post 1000 was posted about where historical mile 621 would have been posted. As reconstruction continues to shorten the highway, the kilometer posts, at 2 kilometer, 1.2 miles, intervals, were recalibrated along the BC section of road to reflect the driving distances in 1990. The section of highway covered by the 1990 recalibration has since been rendered shorter by further realignments, such as near Summit Pass and between Muncho Lake and Iron Creek. View of the highway at mile 1337, facing east. Based on where those values left off, new Yukon kilometer posts were erected in fall 2002 between the BC border and the west end of the new bypass around Champaign, Yukon, in 2005. Additional recalibrated posts continued from there to the east shore of Kluane Lake near Silver City, and in fall 2008, from Silver City to the boundary with Alaska. Old kilometer posts, based on the historic miles, remained on the highway, after the first two recalibrations, from those points around Kluane Lake to the Alaska border. The BC and Yukon sections also have a small number of historic mileposts, printed on oval-shaped signs, at locations of historic significance. These special signs were erected in 1992 on the occasion of the highway's 50th anniversary. The Alaska portion of the highway is still marked by mileposts at 1 mile, 1.6 kilometers, intervals, although they no longer represent accurate driving distance, due to reconstruction. A monument at the northern terminus of the Alaska Highway, Delta Junction. The historic mileposts are still used by residents and businesses along the highway to refer to their location, and in some cases are also used as postal addresses. Residents and travelers, and the government of the Yukon, do not use east and west to refer to direction of travel on the Yukon section, even though this is the predominant bearing of the Yukon portion of the highway. North and south are used, referring to the south, Dawson Creek, and north, Delta Junction, termini of the highway. This is an important consideration for travelers who may otherwise be confused, particularly when a westbound travel routes southwestward or even due south to circumvent a natural obstacle such as Kluane Lake. Some BC sections west of Fort Nelson also route more east to west, with southwest bearings in some section. Again, north is used in preference to west. Since 1949, the Milepost, an exhaustive guide to the Alaska Highway and all other routes through the region, has been published each year. The Community 101, British Columbia, is named by its location at mile 101, spoken 101.